In other words, leaders must see what others cannot. While his team worked on daily operations, Jack focused on where the world was heading. That is why, even when people doubted the internet in China, he kept pushing. He saw a future others couldn't yet imagine. For your journey toward financial independence, this means you must balance persistence with vision. Hard work will carry you far, but vision will tell you where to go. Without vision, you may end up climbing the wrong mountain. But with vision, even if the path is hard, you will know it leads to your destination. Another core principle Jack taught was about embracing rejection. He often told stories of his own failures to inspire others. He laughed about being rejected from Harvard 10 times, about being turned down by dozens of employers, about being one of 24 candidates for KFC where 3 were hired, and he was the only one left out. He shared these stories not to gain sympathy, but to prove a point. Rejection is not the end of the road. It is just a redirection. Financial independence requires that same resilience. You may face banks that reject your loan applications, investors who refuse to believe in your idea, or clients who walk away. But each rejection pushes you closer to the right opportunity. If Jack had been hired at KFC, he might never have built Alibaba. Sometimes rejection is life's way of saving you for something greater. Jack Ma also spoke often about the importance of youth and innovation. He believed that young people have the courage to take risks that older generations might avoid. He encouraged them to embrace change, experiment, and not fear failure. He said, young people are the future. The key to success is helping them realize their potential. That is why throughout his career, he invested heavily in training young employees and creating an environment where new ideas could thrive. This mindset connects directly to fun. When you are young, you have less to lose and more time to recover. That is the season to take bold steps, to experiment, and to learn. Do not waste those years playing it safe. Jack teaches us that independence comes from daring to do what others are too afraid to attempt. But leadership is not only about daring, it is also about responsibility. Jack Ma repeatedly reminded his team that money brings responsibility, not just freedom. He said, with great power comes great responsibility. He believed that leaders have an obligation to think beyond themselves. When Alibaba became profitable, he reinvested in his employees, in small businesses, and in the community. For him, financial independence was meaningful only if it lifted others as well. This is a profound lesson for anyone seeking independence. If your goal is only self-centered wealth, you will find it empty. True independence is achieved when your financial freedom allows you to make an impact, to create opportunities, and to leave a legacy. Jack's leadership style was not about being served, but about serving others through the platform he built. Another striking lesson from Jack Ma is his attitude toward competition. He often told his employees, don't worry about your competitors, focus on your customers. While others wasted energy fighting rivals, Jack focused on making his customers happy. He believed that if customers trusted Alibaba, competitors would not matter. This focus allowed Alibaba to grow steadily without being distracted by battles that did not add value. For personal independence, this means focusing on your path instead of constantly comparing yourself to others. Do not waste energy competing with your neighbor, your colleague, or your friend. Focus on serving, building, and improving yourself. Financial freedom is not a race. It is a journey. Compete less, create more. That is Jack's approach. Jack also taught the importance of humility. Even at the height of his success, he remained grounded. He once joked, I'm just a normal guy who got lucky. But deep inside, he knew it was persistence and vision, not luck, that built Alibaba. His humility made him approachable and relatable. He often laughed at himself, making fun of his poor grades, his bad singing voice, or his appearance. This humility drew people to him because he showed that greatness can come from ordinary beginnings. This matters for financial independence because humility keeps you learning. If you think you already know everything, you stop growing. But if you remain humble, you stay curious, you keep improving, and you continue to find new opportunities. Independence is not a finish line. It is a continuous process of growth, and humility ensures that process never stops. Jack Ma also stressed the importance of resilience in leadership. He told his team that success requires enduring pain. He said, never give up. Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. These words became a mantra, not just for Alibaba, but for millions of people around the world. They remind us that leadership and independence are not built on easy days, but on the hard ones. Imagine the nights Jack Ma spent worrying about Alibaba's future, wondering how to pay salaries, how to convince investors, how to survive competition. Yet he showed up every day with energy, with optimism, with determination. That is the mark of a true leader, showing strength even when you feel weak. And that strength inspired his team to keep going, even when the odds seemed impossible. For your own journey, this means independence requires emotional resilience. You must be able to handle stress, to stay positive when things look dark, and to keep going even when failure knocks on your door. Without resilience, every small problem will break you. With resilience, no problem is strong enough to stop you. Jack also believed in giving back as a form of leadership. After stepping down from Alibaba, he focused on philanthropy, education, and environmental projects. He believed that financial independence is incomplete if it does not lead to contribution. His leadership extended beyond business into making the world a better place. He understood that money can build freedom for you, but true fulfillment comes when your money builds freedom for others too. And perhaps one of his most human lessons is this: never lose hope. He told people, never give up. Today is cruel, tomorrow is crueler, and the day after tomorrow is beautiful. This repetition of hope was not just words, it was his lived experience. Receded from jobs, rejected by investors, mocked by critics, yet he held on to hope. And that hope turned rejection into resilience, resilience into opportunity, and opportunity into independence. So, what do Jack Ma's leadership lessons teach us about financial independence? They teach us that independence is not just about money. It is about mindset. It is about learning from mistakes, empowering others, staying humble, embracing change, and holding on to hope when things get tough. Financial freedom is built on these foundations, not just on profits. If you carry these lessons with you, if you see failure as your teacher, if you empower others, if you focus on customers instead of competitors, if you remain humble, and if you never lose hope, then independence is not a dream, it becomes a reality. Because as Jack Ma's story shows us, rejection does not define you, failure does not stop you, and obstacles cannot hold you down. With persistence, leadership, and vision, the sunshine always comes after the storm. Jack Ma once said, opportunities lie in the place where complaints are. At first, it sounds unusual, but when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Every complaint in society is a problem waiting for a solution, and every solution has the potential to become a business. This mindset was the seed behind Alibaba. Jack noticed that small businesses in China struggled to connect with the world, and instead of complaining, he created the solution. That decision became the foundation of one of the largest e-commerce platforms in history. So how do we take Jack Ma's wisdom and apply it to our own journey toward financial independence? Let's break it down into clear, practical steps. The first step is to recognize the value of problems. Most people run away from problems because they seem overwhelming. But Jack teaches us that problems are actually opportunities in disguise. Instead of avoiding them, lean into them. Look around your community. What do people struggle with? What are they constantly complaining about? Each complaint is a hidden demand. If you can provide a solution, you are not just helping others, you are creating value for yourself. The second step is to start small but think big. Jack often reminded entrepreneurs that big things grow from small beginnings. He started Alibaba in his apartment with a small group of friends. There were no big offices, no fancy equipment, just vision and determination. He said, if you cannot do it for 10 people, you cannot do it for 1,000 people. That means your journey to financial independence begins with the small circle around you. Can you create something useful for a few people? If you can, then you can expand. Do not wait for the perfect opportunity. Start with what you have, where you are, and let it grow. The third step is persistence. Jack's story is a living testimony of persistence. Reseat from jobs, mocked by investors, doubted by experts. He kept moving forward. Persistence is not about blindly repeating the same actions. It is about adjusting, learning, and continuing despite setbacks. Jack often told his employees, we will make it because we are young and we never give up. Persistence is the fuel that carries you through rejection and failure toward financial independence. The fourth step is to build trust. Jack Ma often said, your customers should trust you, your employees should trust you, and your investors should trust you. Trust is the currency that never loses value. Financial independence does not just come from money. It comes from relationships built on trust. If people know you are honest, reliable, and consistent, opportunities will come to you naturally. Without trust, no amount of money will secure true independence. The fifth step is to embrace technology and change. Jack always believed in the power of the internet when others doubted it. He once said, in the age of the internet, small businesses can do what big businesses cannot. He saw technology not as a threat, but as a tool to create opportunity. Today, financial independence requires the same mindset. Whether it is digital platforms, online businesses, or new tools, you must be willing to adapt. The world is moving fast, and those who embrace change move closer to independence, while those who resist fall behind. The sixth step is learning continuously. Jack Ma believed that leaders are lifelong learners. He said, the world is changing fast, so you must keep learning to stay relevant. He read books, studied businesses, and surrounded himself with smarter people. This constant learning kept him ahead of the curve. For financial independence, learning is not optional. It is essential. Read, study, watch, and learn from those who are already where you want to be. The more you learn, the more equipped you are to seize opportunities. The seventh step is to focus on the long term, not just quick wins. Jack often reminded people that success takes time. He said, today is difficult. Tomorrow is more difficult. But the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people give up before reaching the day after tomorrow. That is why financial independence is rare. It requires patience, long-term thinking, and the ability to endure hardship. Quick money may bring temporary joy, but true independence comes from building something that lasts. The eighth step is to surround yourself with the right people. Jack often said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. He built Alibaba with people who shared his vision. Even when the future was uncertain, your independence will not come in isolation. Surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and support you. The wrong company will drain your energy, but the right company will multiply it. The ninth step is resilience. Jack's life shows us that financial independence is not about avoiding failure, but about each time, bouncing back stronger each time. He was rejected from Harvard 10 times. He failed in multiple business ideas. He was told Alibaba would never work. Yet he persisted, learned, and grew stronger. That resilience made him unstoppable. If you want independence, you must accept failure as part of the process. Do not let it break you. Let it teach you. The 10th step is contribution. Jack Ma always emphasized that money is not just for yourself. He believed financial independence means having the power to make a difference. After building Alibaba, he invested in education, the environment, and young entrepreneurs. He proved that true independence is not selfish. It is about using your freedom to create freedom for others. When you help others rise, you rise higher too. Let's tie all this together with a story. Imagine Jack Ma had given up after being rejected from KFC. Imagine he had stopped trying after Harvard said no for the 10th time. Imagine he had listened when investors said the internet had no future in China. If he had done that, there would be no Alibaba. Millions of businesses would have struggled without the platform he created. Millions of people would not have found jobs or opportunities through Alibaba. And Jack Ma himself would never have reached financial independence. But he did not give up. He persisted. He turned rejection into resilience, problems into opportunities, and vision into reality. That is the lesson for all of us. Financial independence is not reserved for the lucky few. It is built by those who dare to see beyond rejection, who choose to serve others, and who never stop believing in their vision. So, if you are chasing independence today, remember Jack's journey. Look for opportunities and problems. Start small, but think big. Persist when the world says no. Build trust, embrace change, and never stop learning. Focus on the long term, surround yourself with the right people, and stay resilient. And finally, when you succeed, use your independence to lift others. Because at the end of the day, financial independence is not just about money in the bank, but it is about freedom, the freedom to choose, to build, to create, and to give back. Jack Ma's life proves that no amount of rejection, no number of failures, and no wall of doubt can stop someone who refuses to quit. The same independence is possible for you if you hold on to these lessons and apply them every single day. And remember Jack's words, never give up. Today is hard. Tomorrow is harder. But the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Jack Ma often reminded people that financial independence is not simply about having a lot of money. It is about having the right mindset toward money, discipline, and the habits that shape your future. He once said, if you want to be successful, learn from the mistakes of others, not the success stories. This wisdom shows us that independence is built not only through nice victories, but through avoiding the traps that destroy financial freedom. The first habit Jack believed in is respecting money, but not worshiping it. He always emphasized that money is important, but it is not the ultimate goal. He explained that chasing money for its own sake leads to emptiness, while using money as a tool to create value leads to true independence. In his early years, he made very little, yet he always valued every cent. This respect allowed him to manage resources wisely. If you want financial freedom, you must value money enough to handle it carefully, but never become a slave to it. The second habit is living simply, even when success comes. Jack Ma was never the type to flaunt luxury. He lived modestly, wore simple clothes, and focused his energy on ideas rather than appearances. He once said, it does not matter how rich you are. What matters is how many people you serve. This shows that independence is not built on showing off, but on staying grounded. Many people lose their freedom because they spend to impress instead of investing to grow. Simplicity keeps you disciplined and allows wealth to multiply instead of disappearing. The third habit is controlling expenses. Jack Ma often explained that small businesses fail not because they lack income, but because they cannot control expenses. The same principle applies to individuals. He said, spend wisely, even when you have little. That habit will protect you when you have more. Financial independence does not come from how much you make, but from how much you keep and invest. Discipline with spending is the foundation of freedom. The fourth habit is building multiple streams of income. Jack's vision with Alibaba was never limited to one idea. He expanded into e-commerce, cloud computing, digital payments, logistics, and entertainment. He believed that relying on a single source of income is dangerous because markets change. For personal independence, the same rule applies. If you rely only on one job, one client, or one income stream, you are vulnerable. True independence comes when you diversify. This way, if one door closes, you have others that remain open. The fifth habit is reinvesting profits. Jack Ma once explained that many people make money and immediately spend it, but true builders reinvest to create more. In the early days of Alibaba, whenever the company earned something, they reinvested it into improving the platform, hiring talent, and growing the network. That reinvestment created long-term growth. For individuals, the lesson is clear. Do not spend every gain. Reinvest in your skills, your business, or assets that can generate more income. This habit keeps your independence growing steadily. The sixth habit is patience with results. Jack believed that impatience is one of the greatest enemies of success. He said, you need the right people with value, not the best people. This means building takes time. Financial independence is not instant. It is a long journey where small, consistent steps matter more than big, rushed leaps. Jack showed patience when investors doubted Alibaba for years. He stayed focused on long-term growth instead of short-term profit. That patience paid off in billions. Your path to independence also requires patience. Do not rush wealth. Build it steadily. The seventh habit is embracing risk, but managing it wisely. Jack was not afraid to take risks, but he always calculated carefully. He often said, if you do not give up, you still have a chance. Giving up is the greatest failure. He risked his reputation, time, and energy on ideas that others laughed at. But he balanced risk with preparation. Financial independence requires risk-taking. Whether starting a business, investing, or learning a new skill, risk is part of the process. But like Jack, you must manage it carefully. Take risks that grow you, not risks that destroy you. The eighth habit is focusing on people, not just money. Jack Ma believed that people are the most valuable resource. He said, investors do not believe in ideas. They believe in people. He built Alibaba by gathering a team that shared his vision, even when money was scarce. In personal finance, the same principle applies. Your network, your mentors, your partners, these relationships can open opportunities that money alone cannot. Independence is easier when you build it with others instead of chasing it alone. The ninth habit is self-discipline. Jack often explained that discipline is more powerful than motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving. He disciplined himself to work hard, learn constantly, and focus on solutions rather than problems. For financial independence, discipline shows up in small habits, saving regularly, sticking to a budget, investing consistently, and avoiding unnecessary debt. Without discipline, even large income can slip away. With discipline, even small income can grow into independence. The 10th habit is having a clear purpose. Jack Ma always tied his financial goals to a larger mission. His purpose was to help small businesses in China and eventually worldwide. That purpose guided his decisions, kept him motivated, and attracted people to join his mission. Financial independence without purpose feels empty, but with purpose, it becomes powerful. Your money is not just for survival. It is a tool to live your mission. Whether that mission is freedom for your family, impact in your community, or innovation for the world. Let's reflect on how these habits look in daily life. Imagine a person who earns a good salary, but spends most of it on lifestyle upgrades. New car, bigger house, fancy clothes. This person may look wealthy, but is actually trapped. Now imagine someone with the same salary who lives simply, controls expenses, reinvests savings, and builds side incomes. Over time, the second person gains freedom while the first remains stuck. That difference is not luck. It is habits. Jack Ma's story proves that habits are the invisible architecture of independence. They decide whether your money serves you or enslaves you. He did not become independent because he was lucky. He became independent because he respected money, lived simply, controlled expenses, reinvested profits, diversified income, stayed patient, embraced risk, focused on people, practiced discipline, and lived with purpose. Financial independence is not just about earning more. It is about living with habits that protect, multiply, and give meaning to your money. Jack Ma once said, "We are never short of money. We are short of people with dreams that can die for those dreams." Your independence is tied to your dream. If you build the right habits and stay committed to your purpose, independence will come, not as a stroke of luck, but as the natural result of disciplined living. So if you are chasing independence today, ask yourself, do my habits move me closer to freedom, or do they hold me back? Remember Jack's example. Even after rejection, failure, and countless obstacles, he built a life of freedom by shaping his habits. You can do the same. At the end of the day, financial independence is not just about the money you earn. It is about the choices you make every single day. And as Jack Ma has shown, the right habits practiced consistently can transform rejection into resilience, discipline into wealth, and vision into independence. Jack Ma often said, if you want to grow, help others grow. If you want to be successful, help others succeed. This was not just a nice quote. It was an entire philosophy of leadership. He believed that financial independence is not achieved by stepping on others, but by lifting them up. That is why Alibaba was not built as just a company to make him rich. It was designed as a platform to empower millions of small businesses. And that leadership principle became the engine behind his independence. The first lesson Jack teaches about leadership and independence is that a leader's success is tied to the success of their team. He used to remind his employees, you cannot survive alone in this world. You need the right people to grow. From the very beginning, Jack knew he was not the smartest person in the room. In fact, he often admitted that he struggled with technical skills in mathematics, but he did not let that hold him back. Instead, he built a team of people smarter than him in those areas. He believed that his role as a leader was not to know everything, but to create an environment where others could shine. This is a powerful lesson for anyone seeking financial independence. Do not try to do everything alone. Independence grows faster when you build with others. The second lesson is resilience. Jack's leadership journey was filled with challenges. There were moments when Alibaba was close to collapse. Competitors were stronger, investors doubted them, and even his own team sometimes questioned the future. But Jack always stood strong. He said, your attitude determines your altitude. Instead of breaking down, he encouraged his team, kept their vision alive, and pushed through difficult times. True leadership means showing resilience when others lose hope. That resilience is not only what built Alibaba, but also what secured Jack's independence. The third lesson is vision. Jack believed that leaders must see beyond the present. While others in China were focused on local trade, Jack envisioned a global platform connecting China to the world. He once said, we should help young people. We should help small businesses because they are the future. His vision went beyond profit. It was about creating opportunity for generations to come. And because his vision was bigger than himself, people were inspired to follow him. For personal independence, this teaches us that vision matters. If your goals are small and only about yourself, your independence will feel shallow. But if your vision is big and includes others, your independence will be lasting and meaningful. The fourth lesson is empowerment. Jack often said, the best leader is the one whose people say, we did it ourselves. He did not believe in controlling people tightly. He believed in giving them freedom to act, freedom to innovate, and freedom to fail. This empowered his employees to think creatively and take ownership of their work. For financial independence, the same principle applies. If you build a business or even a family vision, do not hold all control. Empower others to take responsibility and grow with you. When you empower others, you multiply your strength. The fifth lesson is humility. Despite becoming one of the richest men in Asia, Jack Ma never carried himself like a distant billionaire. He laughed at his failures, admitted his weaknesses, and told stories of being rejected from jobs. This humility made him relatable to both his employees and the public. Humility is not weakness. It is strength. It creates trust, and trust is the foundation of leadership. Without humility, independence becomes isolation. With humility, independence becomes connection. The sixth lesson is adaptability. Jack often spoke about how fast the world changes, especially with technology. He warned businesses that if they did not adapt, they would die. He said, change is the best opportunity. This mindset allowed Alibaba to survive and grow in an unpredictable market. Leaders who resist change get stuck. Leaders who embrace change lead their people into the future. For financial independence, adaptability is key. Whether markets shift, jobs change, or technology evolves, your ability to adapt determines whether you stay free or become stuck. The seventh lesson is responsibility. Jack believed that with independence comes responsibility. He said, when you have money, you start to think about responsibility. For him, wealth was not just personal freedom. It was a tool to help others. He invested in education, the environment, and opportunities for young entrepreneurs. This responsibility gave his independence meaning. It is a reminder that true independence is not selfish. It carries the responsibility to use your freedom in ways that make life better for others. The eighth lesson is courage. Jack Ma admitted that he was often scared, but he never let fear control him. He said, if you do not try, how will you ever know if it is possible? Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward even when fear is present. Leaders who achieve independence are not fearless. They are courageous. They take the step that others are too afraid to take. The ninth lesson is communication. Jack Ma was not a technical expert, but he was a master communicator. He could inspire people with words, tell stories that connected with their hearts, and motivate his team when times were tough. He believed that leaders must communicate clearly, simply, and with passion. For financial independence, communication matters. Whether in business, networking, or partnerships, your ability to connect with others through words can open doors. Money cannot. The 10th lesson is persistence in the face of doubt. Jack once said, today, people may not believe what you are doing, but in the future, they will thank you. His journey was full of doubters. People who told him Alibaba would never work. People who rejected him from opportunities. People who laughed at his ideas. But he persisted. He showed the world that leadership is not about being accepted at the start. It is about proving yourself through persistence until results speak louder than words. Now, let's think about what all these leadership lessons mean for financial independence. Many people think independence means doing everything alone, but Jack Ma shows us the opposite. Independence is built by lifting others, creating opportunities, and building trust. Leadership is not just for CEOs. It is for anyone who wants to guide their family, community, or team toward a better future. And leadership, when practiced with resilience, vision, humility, adaptability, courage, and responsibility, creates a foundation for independence that no rejection or failure can shake. Imagine this, Jack Ma, once a teacher earning just a few dollars a month, rejected from 30 jobs, loved at by investors, is now a billionaire who empowers millions. His independence came not because he was the smartest, but because he was the most persistent the most resilient, and the most focused on helping others. That is the message for all of us. Financial independence is not a solo climb. It is a journey where leadership multiplies your efforts. It is about resilience when others give up, vision when others doubt, humility when others boast, and empowerment when others control. If you want independence, practice leadership not just in business, but in life. Lift others, and in doing so, you will rise higher than you ever imagined. So remember Jack's example. Independence without leadership is fragile, but independence with leadership is unstoppable. Jack Ma once said, if you only think about China, you will miss the world. But if you think about the world, you will capture China. This mindset was at the heart of his independence. While many entrepreneurs were focused only on local markets, Jack dreamed bigger. He believed financial independence is not just about surviving in your hometown or country. It is about thinking globally, seeing opportunities where others see limits, and building something that transcends borders. From the very start, Jack saw the internet as a bridge. He understood that small businesses in China could connect with customers across oceans. In the late Zhou Baiqiushi, when most people in China had not even heard of e-commerce, Jack told his friends, the internet is going to change everything. If we don't get on board, we will miss the train. That global vision separated him from the rest. And this is a critical lesson for anyone chasing independence. Don't limit yourself to the environment you grew up in. Think beyond borders. The world is larger than your city, larger than your nation. Opportunities exist everywhere if you are willing to look with a global eye. Jack Ma studied English by offering free tours to foreigners in Hangzhou. He was not earning money. He was earning perspective. By learning their stories, their ideas, their lifestyles, he opened his mind to different ways of thinking. Later, this perspective gave him the courage to build Alibaba with international partners. For financial independence, this shows us something powerful. Don't stay stuck in one mindset. Learn from people outside your comfort zone. Learn from different industries, different cultures, different generations. Your independence will grow when your perspective expands. Jack often said, where there is a problem, there is an opportunity. He looked at the struggles of small businesses, how they could not afford to advertise, how they struggled to sell outside their towns, and he realized the internet could solve it. That single realization opened the door to Alibaba. For anyone seeking independence, this is the lesson. Don't just look for opportunities in what already exists. Look at the problems no one is solving. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. And in today's connected world, the biggest opportunities are often global problems. Things like education, healthcare, trade, and environment. If you build solutions for these, your independence will grow beyond imagination. Jack built Alibaba with a global vision, but he never forgot his roots. He stayed in Hangzhou, where the company's headquarters still stand today. He told entrepreneurs, keep your eyes on the world, but keep your feet on the ground. This balance is essential. Independence is not about abandoning where you come from. It is about taking what you have, learning from the world, and creating something that connects both. Many people dream of leaving their hometown to find freedom. But Jack's story shows that you can build independence right where you are, if you dare to think globally while working locally. In the early days, Alibaba faced intense competition from global giants like eBay. Many thought Alibaba would collapse. But Jack told his team, eBay is a shark in the ocean. We are a crocodile in the Yangtze River. If we fight in our own waters, we will win. This shows his genius. He respected global competition, but he understood his strength was local knowledge. By combining global thinking with local understanding, he turned a weakness into a weapon. For independence, this is crucial. Don't just copy global players. Use your unique background, your culture, your experience as an advantage. When you mix local strength with global vision, you create resilience. Why did thousands of employees stay loyal to Jack Ma? Because his vision was not small. He told them, we are not building Alibaba for ourselves. We are building it for millions of small businesses around the world. When people feel they are part of something bigger than themselves, they give more energy, more passion, and more loyalty. And that is exactly what happened at Alibaba. Jack's global dream inspired people to push beyond limits. For your independence, this means make your vision bigger than just money. If your vision is to impact people across the world, to solve problems bigger than yourself, others will join your mission. And when people join you, your independence grows faster. Jack Ma became wealthy because he created value. He didn't chase money. He chased impact. He built systems that helped millions of businesses sell their products globally. That value creation brought him financial independence, but more importantly, it made Alibaba indispensable. Too many people think independence means just saving money or investing wisely. But Jack shows us independence at its highest level comes when you create so much value that people depend on your vision. That is when wealth chases you, not the other way around. Jack Ma said, the world will give you a lot of pressure. If you cannot handle pressure, you cannot handle success. Every entrepreneur faces fear when going global. Fear of competition, fear of rejection, fear of failure. Jack faced all of these, but he turned fear into fuel. He believed that the larger the challenge, the greater the independence you earn by overcoming it. For us, this is clear. Financial independence will not be handed to you. You must face challenges bigger than you are. But if you face them, you will grow into the person who deserves independence. Jack predicted many things that others laughed at. He said that e-commerce would explode, that mobile payments would dominate, that small businesses would become global players. At the time, these ideas seemed unrealistic. Today, they are reality. This is the essence of independence. Don't just prepare for the present. Prepare for the future. The present is already crowded. The future is wide open. If you can position yourself for what's coming, your independence will not just survive, it will thrive. Jack Ma's independence was not fragile. It was not just tied to one business or one market. It was built on a global mindset, on connections across countries, on ideas that worked across cultures, on solutions for problems shared by humanity. That kind of independence cannot be easily broken. It is not dependent on a single economy, a single job, or a single country. It is broader, stronger, and more lasting. And that is the kind of independence we should all aim for. So, what do we learn from Jack Ma's story? Financial independence is not just about saving money or escaping a boss. It is about expanding your vision, thinking beyond borders, solving big problems, and preparing for the future. It is about combining global vision with local strength, humility with ambition, and persistence with adaptability. Jack Ma was rejected 30 times. He failed more than most of us ever will, but he dreamed bigger than his failures. He saw the world when others only saw their neighborhood. And that is why he became independent, not just financially, but in spirit. If you want independence, don't just aim for survival, aim for significance. Don't just aim for a paycheck. Aim for impact. Don't just think about your street or your city. Think about the world. Because as Jack Ma proved, when you think globally and act persistently, independence is not a dream. It is a destiny.